Good morning, everyone. We're in Rundle Mall singing some climate Christmas carols. So we've Hey, Mike. G'day, Justin. Good morning, everyone. We're here, it's Chris here from Extinction Rebellion, and we're here in Rundle Mall today. And we're singing some Christmas carols with a climate twist. So we're moving down several spots along the mall and doing a little bit of singing. And also worth pointing out that, you know, as we sing, we're in a climate emergency, and we're also in something that's been going on for a long time, this terrible thing called colonialization. And you know, we're here on stolen land, the land of the Ghana people, and obviously we pay respect to the elders past, present, and emerging. And I think it's worth thinking about, you know, while you watch the stream and while you go about your day, just to think about, like, you know, what does it emotionally mean to be on, you know, in this case Ghana country, but maybe you're from somewhere else. And what does it really mean? I think very similar to the climate emergency, you know, we often don't emotionally engage with what's going on. People sort of like intellectually know how things are, but they don't really, oh man, this fly loves me. They don't really know how to emotionally engage with it. So really encourage you all to think about that as you go about your day. I'll just flick back through. So we're about to move along. I think it's worth a bit of behind the scenes here. We've actually got some rebels with us who are semi-naked, semi-nude, kind of symbolizing, you know, that we are kind of vulnerable, especially here in Australia, or so-called Australia. We're incredibly vulnerable to the climate emergency that's upon us, and it is an emergency. Alright, I might zip ahead with everyone behind me. It's a little bit tricky. It's also worth pointing out that while we do this here in the mall, you know, we are actually chucking a few dollars to, you know, the entertainers along the way, because, you know, we don't want to disrupt them. We love, you know, people who are, you know, part of the arts, and what they're doing is really what we're after, is tackling sort of system level change. So I'll flip us back through. So we are here at the sort of consumption centre of Adelaide, you know, where people are buying stuff for Christmas. And it's worth pointing out that, you know, we live with a system that encourages just hyper-consumerism, just buying all the time. And this is not really the fault of individuals. I mean, we can all reduce, you know, what we buy and shop ethically. But it's also worth pointing out that there are lots of forces that all these companies are using against everyday people, right? You go into a shop, they put out pheromones that smell. They have every sort of trick in the book to try and make you buy more. And it's just tricky when we live stressful lives. So here at XR, we don't blame individuals. These are systemic problems and they require systemic solutions. But with that said, if we can do things at an individual level to make things better, that's great too. But the kind of scale of the emergency that we have upon us right now. Whoop. Sorry, just getting a bit of direction from our marshals here. So, what was I saying? That's right. So here at XR, we don't sort of blame or shame sort of individuals because it's a systemic problem. It sort of misdirects our attention. If we're focusing on individuals, it's really system change. All I want for Christmas is a gas-free national climate policy. And we have our naked rebels here. Jeez, what's your sign here say, Jamie? Let's have a close look at that. Just keep it still, mate. Keep it still.
I don't want to be cold for Christmas, mate, but it's getting hotter and hotter out here.
Yeah, it certainly is. So I'll just zip a little bit ahead. We've got a bit of behind the scenes. But we're going to stop off at our next spot here and do a bit more singing. So I'll let people sing. Because one of the things we do here a lot, if you've been to any XR event, you'll notice we do a lot of singing. And the reason we do that is because we're a peaceful, non-violent movement. And singing is really a way just to, keep things calm. A lot of the time people are, doing these direct actions, non-violent direct actions, and they can really escalate and get out of control. But if we have people singing and just bringing down the temperature, cooling it down, then it really helps, right? It really means that police aren't going to overreact, or members of the public aren't going to be worried, or just, keeps it cool. We need to keep things cool. All right. So this is our sort of final action of the year. Just doing some singing in Rundle Mall here. And if you just joined us, you'll probably see a few people who are sort of partially nude, kind of representing how, in this emergency, we are all really vulnerable, naked and afraid. Awesome. Oh. The other thing that these kind of actions do, especially in very public places, is beyond making the public aware. It's a chance for people to join up, just like that lady did there. Yeah, go for it. Ask me anything. Or almost anything. Yeah, great question. I don't believe we have one. but regular buskers in the mall have to have a permit. But no, we just rocked up. There's police here as well, as always. But for those that do have permits to be here, and the buskers, we are chucking them a few dollars because we are interrupting their beautiful art, and we want to support them because we want a vibrant arts community here in South Australia. So I might just move around and move. All right. Just might move around here and capture some of the playing. So we've got a bit of a portable station set up. Thanks, Jules. Appreciate it. Awesome. And thanks for the comment, Mike. Yeah, we're really going to be ramping up next year. We're going to be really scaling up the level of our actions, provided everything can be done in a COVID-safe way. So we should be running more sessions in the new year, teaching people how to get involved and how to do non-violent direct action. Because there's a group of people here who can support you in taking action today. It's really difficult if just doing these things alone. So having a group of people, sorry, it's got a bit of people loving it. A bit of nudity brings out the best in some people. And so, yeah, we're going to be running a bunch of trainings next year, really scaling up what we're doing. And you'll see that across the country. So next year is the time to get involved. Oh, okay. Yep.
So, Chris here.
I'm on the stream.
Hey?
I'm on the stream. Yep. Yeah, I can answer a bunch of those questions around action organizing, but it might be best to flick a message to the page and we can go through things in more detail there. It's going to be a bit difficult for me walking, talking, and answering a bunch of tricky questions, but totally happy to do that. So definitely flick through a message to the page. I think it's worth pointing out that as we're here, we've got a lot of people in the public sort of filming, the singing and probably sharing on social media. So it's great. It's a good way to just engage with the public in this way. So if you've just joined us, we're in Rundle Mall today and we're singing some Christmas carols. But of course it wouldn't be any sort of Christmas carols with Extinction Rebellion. It's Christmas carols with a climate twist. So we've got several songs that we've modified to have a real climate emergency message, because we're in a climate emergency right now. If you check through our page, even in the last week, you can see videos of just the terrible things that happened during the last year's bushfires with all the burnt koalas. And it's just upsetting. And this is effectively a new normal for us. A lot of these emissions are locked in, right? There's a lag. I don't think people understand this, but there's actually a lag with the emissions that are put out there. And so we're only experiencing, the impacts of what's happened, from emissions, years and years ago. But what will happen is, things are unfortunately kind of locked in and will get a bit worse. So that's why we need to really stop things now and draw down, all the carbon out of the atmosphere. It's really important. It's also important that we form social bonds, and support things like mutual aid and connecting together. And that's what's happening here. You've got people who are connecting as part of a community, and a lot of us feel a great deal of despair when looking at the climate crisis. There's nothing we can do. And in some ways, right now there's a lot of really important work to be done. And that work is, achieved by sort of stepping into action. So it sounds a bit strange, but you can kind of be living in both the best and the worst of times, where, things are terrible, but at the same time, the work that we're all doing is super important and actually adds a great deal of meaning into our everyday existence. So we definitely encourage people to come along, just sign up to our newsletter. This is one of our last, sorry, everyone's just got ahead of me. This is one of our last actions for the year. And but we're going to be ramping up next year with big stuff in March. So definitely want to sign up to do that. I'll flick it through to everyone else. Give us a wave, everyone. Just one hand off the signs. Oh. We've got our portable sound system here. Deadly Dave, who you might recognize from a previous stream, dressed up as a koala. So yeah, as I mentioned, we're going to be really ramping up next year. So if you're looking at this and you're kind of interested in getting involved in taking sort of non-violent direct action, definitely like sign up and get ready for next year. The scale of our actions is going to be increasing, along with stuff happening sort of nationwide, where we're going to mass mobilize. That's the only way that we get change, is to really shut down a whole bunch of these systems. You know, sort of asking politely doesn't work. You know, we've seen that for 30 years. So we really need to ramp it up, you know, and tackle those sort of points of like, you know, economic and systemic power. And the way that we do that is get a lot of people to do things, you know, to block roads, to do sit-ins, you know, to lock on to different things. That's how we get the change. And it's unfortunate that things have got to this stage, but that's just the reality. Should also mention that we are going past several buskers in the mall, and you know, we totally support them and what they're doing. So you know, we are dropping a few dollars in, you know, as we go past. So. That's the beautiful thing about doing direct actions like this. You never know what's going to happen.
Good fun.
G'day, Paul.
Just keep fighting a good fight.
Awesome.
Peace out, guys. Put some sunblock on. You're gonna get sunburnt.
We're currently on a live stream.
Oh, right. Okay.
Do you want to drop your name so that people can like find you on Facebook?
No, it's all good, man. I'll just
no worries.
Anonymous. You guys
awesome.
enjoy. Easy.
Thank you so much.
Cool. Peace out, guys.
Oh, sorry. I just thought I'd check in with the busker because you know we want to support people who are keen to support us, and so if we can support them for just showing a bit of love, then obviously got to do that. So we're here at the iconic Malls Balls in Rundle Mall. You might remember earlier in the year we actually got big sheets representing the globe and we covered them from top to bottom. Some great photos if you go through the photo section. Obviously not right now. Keep watching because we got some more singing. And yeah, I might zip to the front just so that we can see the front of our sort of semi-naked rebels. But we're getting a lot of looks here from the public. And that's part of the thing, is like we need attention to mobilize for change. You know, if you don't get attention, it doesn't mean anything. If people stand in front of a company and just, don't get any attention, don't get covered on the news, then it doesn't, result in much. So that's why we're, doing this today. That's why we're a bit risque. But it's all in good fun. It's good festive spirit. All right. doing some more singing. Oh. Oh, behind you. No, you're all good. No, you're fine. How you going, guys? Not too hot? It is.
Get a fucking shower, you smell like shit, bro.
Oh. Sorry. Is there anything you want to tell the people at home? Oh.
You
want me to open a present? Yes. That's very cute. Yes, for my present. Mine. That's not very nice.
Very careful now, Jamie. Yeah.
a gift to all of us.
It's from the heart.
From the heart. Oh, so what do we got here? Santos.
Santos. Carbon neutrality.
Right. Jeez.
There you go, Santos. I'd love a Christmas present just for you. I'll make them.
But what's inside that?
What's inside?
What's inside?
There's nothing in it.
Empty promises.
Empty promises indeed.
Man, just like that 2040 net zero emissions target from Santos. What a joke.
What a joke.
That's their to-do list, apparently.
To-do list. Yeah.
Apparently by 2040 we're already in the crisis, Santos. I don't know if you've heard. I don't know if you've been reading the science or listening to Sir David Attenborough. Like, this looks like an empty promise to me. I really wish that you give me a better present for Christmas. Maybe not coal, you know? No
Yeah.
coal in my stuff.
What's this one? This looks like it's
Oh, this is a bigger present.
Yeah, do you want to, someone else want to come over this way?
All right.
Oh, I've got this one.
Australian government action on climate change.
What's in it?
Oh, look at that. Look at the detail on that.
Wow.
Wow.
It must be legit.
It's got to be legit, mate. We got a kangaroo and an emu. Look at that.
But what's in it?
What's in it? Never mind that. How long are we going to have kangaroos and emus? That's what I want to figure out. That's a 10 point. What have we got? Oh my god, look! Plastic! Look! Plastic! No! We got plastic! That's coal!
That's cool.
We got coal and we got plastic!
I can't believe we got cool.
I'm actually just more impressed by that, to be fair.
Well done. The artists out there.
Oh.
More plastic, mate.
Chuck us down.
All my other plastic things.
Yeah, George.
Woohoo! I love presents.
Cheers, I hope you got that somewhere else.
And environmental responsibility.
Oh my god.
Okay, should we see? Well, that'll be editing. Yeah, absolutely empty. Nothing? Are you sure? Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Yeah. Getting hotter.
Getting hotter. Yeah.
Thanks for nothing, Santa.
Jeez.
Don't worry, mate. We'll be back next year. Big and live.
We got one more, do we?
Your windows are mine, Santa.
Gotta love nude rebels here, having a lot of fun.
The thing is, Santos, that if you were really socially responsible, you'd be building renewable energy plants. You know, you'd be going out there building solar and wind farms.
But Jamie, they're powering all their gas production with renewables.
That's an interesting concept there. Burning more fossil fuels with renewable energy.
Yeah, why wouldn't you use gas to do that? Maybe because as renewables are cheaper, make economic sense.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. So I hope that Santos, you stand with us instead of standing to destroy my future and cause massive dystopia and destruction.
Yeah, that's right. I think the reality here is, you know, Santos can't be in fossil fuels for us to have a livable future. Thanks, Kerry. You're exactly right. Just empty promises, you know. I might. Do you want to quickly say something? Do you want to quickly say something about the public reaction? Is that okay? So we've got Debbie here. You might have seen Debbie on one of our recent streams. It's been a great live streamer with Extinction Rebellion. What are you up to today, Debbie?
This has been really awesome. A lot of people walking past looking a bit perplexed, and then slowly dawns on them that what the lyrics are about. And this is what it's all about. It's just about disrupting people's normal pattern. You don't expect to hear about the climate emergency when you're walking down Rundle Mall doing a picnic shopping.
Right.
So yeah, I've had lots of people wanting flyers. Few young men would say we could look better than those naked rebels, but they weren't willing to take their clothes off today. Next year.
They'll have to sign up and join us when we do it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you've also got a patch as well. So I've noticed a few people today are wearing these patches.
Yeah, that was a beautiful Sandy made patches.
Great, and it works both ways. That's nice as well.
What's really amazing about doing anything like this is the first time I've kind of pulled together something as an action, and people just bring things. Like it's so self-organising is the only way to describe it. People just turn up and make it happen.
Great. Awesome. Thanks so much, Debbie. Oh. All right, so we're here, everyone, in Rundle Mall, singing some Christmas carols with a climate emergency twist. And joining us, we've got some nude rebels. So they've stripped down a little bit. Yeah. Don't worry, you're not on camera, Dave. So they've stripped down a little bit, and just to really highlight that we are in an emergency, and that means that we're vulnerable, right? And a lot of us here are scared about our future and about now, and the terrible things that are happening with the climate crisis. That's why, we step into courage, right? And, instead of feeling miserable and terrible about what's going on, we mobilize, we take action, we connect with each other and feel strength. Because as I was saying before, even in these dark times, it's still possible to have meaning and existence, and, an existence that's really meaningful. And the way to do that is to sort of connect with others and to take action together. All right, I'm going to flip back around. So we've been doing some singing at several spots today, singing a whole bunch of different carols, and got a bunch of supporters, from the public as well, and a bunch of looks as well, because we are kind of, this is a very light action, but we are disrupting, the sort of the consciousness of everyone who's sort of coming and walking past. Just regular shoppers, they think these are nice carols, and then they hear the lyrics, and as Debbie was saying before, then they connect. Actually, we're in a climate emergency, and this is a thing that, people have to be reminded of again and again and again, unfortunately. We don't have a media in this country that talks about this stuff. Oh, we've got someone who wants to take a picture, of the naked rebels, just someone from the public. So Huh? I think at the end, yeah. All right. So if you've just joined us, we're here in Rundle Mall in so-called South Australia. We're on Gunner country and we're doing some Christmas carols, but with a twist. The twist is that we're in a climate emergency, and so the carols are focusing on that. So we've got several songs today. On top of that, we've got several rebels who are sort of, partially naked or nude, covered with signs to represent that, in this emergency, we're naked and afraid. Well, the wind's picked up a little bit, so if this is a bit hard to hear, let me know. I'll flick it back through. So yeah, while we get set up here, I might just say a few things. So, this has been a really difficult year, really tricky year. And, in response to that, we've still been doing a bunch of online things, a bunch of trainings. And what we'll be doing in 2021 is building big. We're going to have really scaling up our actions and doing mass mobilizations across the country. And so yeah. We're going to be scaling up our actions, doing mass mobilizations across the country. So if you've been thinking about getting involved, if you've been on the fence, now is really the time. So we've got, if you head to Oz Rebellion, AUSRebellion.earth, you can sign up and find out about all our upcoming trainings. We send regular email outs. We're on all the social media platforms, or most of them, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. So follow us there. Should also say that all the lyrics to these songs are on the event page for this event. So if you found something that you like, then feel free to check that out. What I might do is I might wrap up pretty soon after maybe this next song, and we'll wish you a Merry Crisis.